Hi Nick. Hi guys. We are starting in another 2-3 minutes, guys.
Hello everyone. Very good evening. All, if you all can hear me loud and clear, please type one in a chat box. All of you. Am I audible?
Yeah, Nick, you're
Yes.
audible.
Okay. So all of you can, as a part of a session, guys, we're gonna use zero and one. When I say type zero to confirm, you can type that in a chat box. And zero I will use in sometimes. So it's a world of binaries we are into. So it will keep us active, as this is an online session. So type one if you guys can hear me loud and clear. Type one in a chat box. Yes, everyone, type one. I can see every of you. Almost 10 candidates are there. So here it's the time to start our session, guys. Let me start this. So let me share my screen. Wait a minute, guys. Now I'm sharing my screen. I hope all of you can see the screen. You can type 1 in a chat box to confirm that all of you can see the screen. Okay. Yes, it's good. Screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, visual.
Yes. So now let's start. All of you can see this AZ-104, right? Yes. Now let me start. So as you guys know, my name is Nick, and I'll be taking through this course to you. AZ-104, if you can see on your screen, it is a Azure Administrator track, where today we will, the certification is about how you can achieve or become a Azure Administrator. So today we will discuss about one of the module as an introductory module, which is Azure Virtual Machine. But before going into that, let's talk about cloud computing, guys. Okay. So as I told you, today I'll be taking this session, and I'm a trainer with 20 years of experience, and several of those with cloud computing only. So this course is basically intended for anyone that who wanted to learn cloud computing and specifically become a or develop a career with the Azure track. Okay. So point is, even individual who is into IT business or a non-IT business wanted to do it also to scale up the business and use technology, they can also be a part of this. But yes, specifically when you have AZ-900, which is a cloud Azure fundamental, and then you can start with AZ-104, which is specifically about Azure Administrator track, where you will be working more on portals and managing Azure resources and all that. We'll come to that. What is that and how is that? But before that, I just wanted to know that how exactly you all are coming from a background. Please type 1 if you have completed AZ-900, or if you are directly doing this 104 directly also it can be done, no worries. So if you have completed AZ-900, then type 1, and if you are directly doing AZ-104, which is a current session, then type 0. Make sense, guys? Make sense? Okay, that's right. I request every one of you to be active in a chat box so that I can know. Okay. So it's not necessary or compulsory to do AZ-900, which is just Azure fundamentals and cloud fundamentals. Definitely, we're gonna discuss today the same. Now let me come back to the screen. So as you can see the slide on your screen, you know, where if we talk about cloud, guys, understand one point. Cloud computing is half. What is cloud according to you? Let's start with that. So after completing this session, at least you will be able to understand cloud computing and what is Azure all about as today's demo session. Okay. We'll be discussing on a career track as well. So let me let me remind you, all of you, I have asked a question, what is cloud computing? So mm, first question is, what is cloud? Second question is there any other different type of clouds are there? Characteristic of the cloud. These are all can be the questions. Okay. Now let's start with the what is cloud. Just a minute. Here you can see the screen. I'll try to remove the annotation. Yes. So now, yes. Yes, cloud services over internet. Sujana has typed that. That's good. Lovely. But I'll explain you so that you guys will understand it. Okay. Now, let's start with what is cloud. See, you should have a basic understanding about computers, servers, and data centers. Data centers are a huge premises with a lot of servers, cables, routers, huge internet bandwidth are there. Data centers are I mean, if you can believe that data center is like having more than 1,000 systems, more servers, router racks are there, many things are there. That's data center, right? So if we, let's say, specifically talk about cloud computing, right, then you can imagine cloud computing is something, it's like resources which you are not owner of and still you are using it, right? So it's kind
Nick,
of,
sorry to disturb you. I think you're sharing a different screen. We are not able to see if you're sharing a different.
no, just a minute. I'll share the slide only. Just a minute.
Okay.
Be with me. Be with me. Can you tell me which screen you are getting?
No, nothing. It's blank. So you have to share again.
Now, you tell me.
Yes, we can see it's Microsoft Azure AZ-104.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine now.
Okay. Thank you.
So when we talk about cloud, let's say let's take this example on your screen. This is a system, okay, a computer which you have purchased. For example, let's say uh, Intel desktop, okay. For this, you need to spend a cost in this, right? This is a Intel desktop machine. Now, for example, let's say I'll take and you have a configuration of, if I'm not wrong, let's say uh, Intel i7 and let's say 1 TB of HDD and your screen, LCD screen, whatever screen you have taken, and you have paid almost let's say 85,000 for the configuration which we are looking at in INR. See, I'm in UK, guys, so time difference are there, but that's okay. You just focus on a screen. Now, though you will not use full i7 is your processing power, full processing power. I mean, whenever you see the processing power of what you are doing, if utilization is not more than 20%, and then also you are paying for that, right? You have paid for 1 TB of hard disk. You paid for your whatever the resources you have take a purchase from this desktop. So this is called a one-time your investment, which is your, we can in cloud terms we tell it capital expenditure. Capital expenditure. Okay. Expenditure. So this is known as capex. Okay. There is in IT world, there is another, like to maintain this 1 year after the warranty period, like after the warranty period, you take a after warranty period, warranty period, you are paying, let's say 10K a year, 10K a year as your annual maintenance contract for the anything you get in this system, you're gonna get the support in that. Okay. This is your costing for using these resources, this Intel machine, which is in front of your screen. This is, you have capital investment as, and might after warranty period, initial 1 year, 2 years, you don't find any issues, you don't have operation expenditure, only the internet connection and whatever you are paying, and you are using the system as you want. Okay. Now, this is a very small example for your individual investment. But if instead of this, if you think something where you will pay only as per the usage, whatever the capacity you're gonna utilize, you will pay according to that, right? So here there is a concept where you where you can visit to, or you can go with the service from the CSP cloud solution, cloud service provider. Okay, so this is a cloud service who will give you infrastructure and you will pay based on usage. So currently market leader are in a cloud service provider, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, There are Alibaba and Oracle and other people are there in a cloud service as a public cloud service provider. These are known as public cloud service provider. Public cloud service provider. Okay, so Microsoft had their public cloud name with the Azure, which is Azure. Okay, Amazon come up with AWS in year 2006. Approximately 10 year 2010, this was started. Azure, Microsoft had launched Azure. This was approx 2006. So Amazon was a first player, you can say, for a public cloud service providing. Then Google came into 2011 maybe, which is GCP, Google Cloud. Okay, so this is a basic, or you can say a public cloud provider. Now what happened in that? I'll just keep this aside. Okay, now here, when you want the same system, you don't own it. Like I'll type here Intel i7 processor or whatever and 1 TB of smart, a terabyte of, let's say, SSD hard disk, this is solid state drive SSD hard disk. Then whatever you other configuration like network interface card and other your operating system license also, which you have to count. License. Okay, so this is you need to count. Then now this is if you take from Microsoft, then they might charge you only, let's say, per usage basis. A monthly you'll get 1200 per month based on your usage per month, based on usage of VM stand for virtual machine, which you have deployed in a Microsoft cloud. It is not on your on-premises, your home or your office, not physically hosted. You just need an internet. You will log into your machine and use your machine and do the needful. Okay, make sense, guys? If you understand this basic example, very raw and layman example, type 1 in your chat box if you understand that, right? Please type 1 in a chat box. I'll share a different example for making it more clear. Everyone, it is like, think of a home. You're going in that home and you have a two option. Either you generate electricity or either you get electricity from some electricity provider and pay monthly bills based on your usage. It is same in IT environment. Whatever resource, it can be application, it can be computers, it can be for, take an example of, let's say, I'll just clear this slide. Take an example of a Microsoft Office. Earlier, we used to have an Office on our desktop and we pay for licenses. But nowadays, with the arrival of, Microsoft 365, you don't need to purchase a license. You can just subscribe and pay per user basis of per M365. Microsoft 365, where you get Word, PowerPoint, Excel, plus SharePoint and many Microsoft Teams and many other productivity suite applications, many other features, Visio. But yes, based on your subscription, which is like depend on E3, E5, whatever enterprise license or a single user license, whatever it is, based on that, you have to pay for that, right? So these are cloud. M365 is an example of software as service. So you might use a software and pay for it. Based on usage, you will pay only. That's why it is software as services. Cloud service model is divided into, here you can see on your screen, it is a platform as service, software as service, and another thing. What can be the another, if anyone know? Infrastructure, very important. Infrastructure as services. Okay. So it is, yes, I have typed on a chat box on a screen. So these are the three type of services, a service deployment type of cloud. So either you can go use anything, like you just need a VM and then you need everything by your own VM with the operating system. You get a virtual machine with the Windows 2019 operating system, just an example, and then you install your web server application or anything on that. And you start your business or whatever. What purpose is, purpose need to be very clear, because Microsoft Azure provide many services. It means a lot of services. Same with AWS, same with GCP. You need to be clear with what services you wanted to utilize, right? So guys, this was basic. Give me 1 minute. I'll just share another screen with you. Now, if you all understood what is cloud computing, then you can type 1 in a chat box. Meanwhile, I'll share the portal screen with you. Okay, just a minute. Let's visit a portal. I'll share the screen. Wait a minute. Okay. Sharing the screen. Give me 1 sec. Sharing the screen. Just a minute. Yes. Now, let me share the screen with you. All of you can see the screen. And the screen, you have to type portal. All of you can note down it and you can subscribe for this. You need a credit card and it will not debit anything, but you will get a USD 200 as a free credit. Microsoft will allow you to use USD 200 as a, let me sign out on this. First of all, I'll sign out. Then you will see the screen like this, where a lot of users and things are like for demo purpose has been used student IDs, where you can, just use this portal.azure.com and then you can go with the same. Okay. This is a demo ID which you can use. Now, this is a screen. All of you can see the screen. Type 1 in a chat box if you can. Now we have logged into the portal screen. Okay. You guys can create a new account for yourself. Just I'm typing in a chat box or so that you guys can. Okay, let me type on a screen only so that you can visit it. Okay. Here, if you check this, for subscription, you can go to portal.azure.com. Same for using a Microsoft Office as a software as service, you can go to portal.office.com, which will give you a subscription for Microsoft 365, which is a SaaS example, software as service. Okay. The screen, no, you have to type home is the when I logged in, then only you get that option. You guys have to remember this portal dot. It will give you option for sign up or sign in. Okay. If you want to check, I have to browse in private browser so that you can see that page also. This is a page where I have logged in. Okay. So if you want to check again, I'll just share. All understood this two thing. Okay. Now let me clear this. For example, this was a portal.azure.com which we have typed now. Now let me clear the screen. Okay. I'll clear it. Just a minute. This, we have logged into the portal. All of you can see this. We have logged into the portal, right? Portal.azure.com. Yes. Okay. Yeah, you all should do that. You all should do that. On a portal, give your proper information and credit or debit card. No worries, you will not, Microsoft will not debit anything. It will give you a free account. And you can use it USD 200 credit. Okay. Portal. You can create your free account in that. Meanwhile, let's that you can do later on. Let's focus on here. where I'm just explaining you certain use cases of the same also. So now everyone know that what is cloud computing, where it is just in a one line, you can say that it is you can say a library, or you can say it is a resources which you can utilize, and always services which can be utilized by you, and you can pay as per the usage. Okay. You guys are looking at, then let's see this. I'll explain you in this way. Okay. Anyone would like to ask anything related to cloud? What is cloud computing? Then I can explain again. Otherwise, we will move to the next. Anybody would like to ask anything, then they can. So it is an on-demand delivery of IT resources, right? Over the internet in a one line. We can say that. That is a on-demand. It is a on-demand delivery of IT resources over the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. Instead of buying, owning, and maintaining physical machines or resources, or maintaining physical data center and server, you can access technology services such as computing power, storage, database on demand. Okay. And there are a cloud service provider like Microsoft, Cisco, many more. And Microsoft, sorry, not Cisco, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, many more, right? So I hope that all of you now got it. No, if you don't have a card, then don't go for a free subscription right now. It is not compulsory. During this session, we're gonna step by step, we're gonna cover everything. We will give you a demo labs also where you can do practice and many other things. I'll share my screen now. Just a minute. So all of you can see the screen now. All of you can see the screen. So for now, you, as per the example which we have taken, you can have like Amazon Web Services or Azure and GCP. Okay. So this is a, you can say this can be a book definition which you guys can understand based on your requirement, based on this discussion what we had. Okay. So this is what you can say definition of the cloud computing. Okay. So it's an on-demand delivery of IT resources over the internet. It's pay-as-you-go model. So instead of buying, owning, and maintaining physical data center, servers, or any individual machines, also for as if you are an individual user, you can access technology service such as computing power, storage, database as needed, basis from a cloud provider like Amazon Web Services, Azure, and many more. Okay, and Google Cloud provider, right? Got it? Yes, it's a demo class, guys. Now let me share the portal with you. Before that, I'll share the example. Certain use cases. Let's say you wanted to start a startup, or any technology graduate or anyone who wanted to have a startup. That means you need a lot of investment or small investment or a lot of investment. But then if you procure, let's say that startup required 100 machine and you purchase 100 machine, and let's say 10 server, you are a technology startup, and what you'll do, you will, if business always come with the risk, here you can use cloud provider and save your cost. Okay, you don't need to invest on 100 machines or 10 servers and pay a lakhs of money because IT resources are not cheap. It is costly always, right? So for your startup, you can take services from Microsoft Azure or Amazon AWS or Google GCP, Google Cloud Platform, right? Anything you can sign up and start working on. So here you can save the cost, right? Got it, everyone? Please type 1 in a chat box if you understand the same. Now let me share my screen too. So everyone now understood what is cloud is, okay? Now let's talk about let's go to the VM. If virtual machine is a computer system like your physical system, understand that. Okay, but it is hosted in a Microsoft data center because you are using Azure as your service provider, Microsoft cloud provider. So you will not purchase a system, you will host the system in Microsoft cloud environment, which is Azure, right? And you do whatever you wish to do with that system. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. So now if you can see the screen, it's all about virtual machine, where we will see what is Azure virtual machine and how you can configure it. Okay, so here these are the topics which can be a part of your session. Before starting this, let's go to the first of all the very important slide for our today's discussion is review the cloud service responsibilities. Can you see everyone? Responsibility, information and data. This is, I have divided cloud services is divided basically into 3 types: software as services, platform as services, and infrastructure as services. And this is on-prem means your own infrastructure. You are a small organization or a medium scaled organization, you might have your own computer systems, laptops, desktops, servers, your own internet, everything. So this is on-prem, right? So you can see this information and data is a responsibility of always retained by customer. This all the first phase, device, mobile and PCs. This is also the responsibility of customer, means a subscriber. If I'm taking the Microsoft Azure or a cloud service from Microsoft or from Amazon or from Google, it is my responsibility to handle my information and data, device and PCs, account and identities, which is username and passwords. That is under me in any model. Okay. Then this is identity and directory infrastructure. You can say applications, network controls, operating systems. Responsibility varies by service type. Operating system you want Microsoft to manage, you can do that. In a software as service platform or in a platform as services, you don't need to worry about operating system. Microsoft will take care of that. You just need to focus on productivity. If you're an application developer and wanted to develop a certain application, you don't need to worry about what patches is required for operating system, what environment, what version is required for your Java or Visual Studio, whatever environment you want, it will be given in a service which is a platform as service. So you can sign up for that. So responsibility varies by service type. Physical hosting, physical network, and physical data center. Now in this, if you see, all whether model is software as service provider, whether it is a platform as service or whether infrastructure as service, everything will be handled by the cloud provider. Your cloud provider can be Microsoft, Amazon or Google or anyone, any public cloud provider, right? So here the responsibility, you don't need to worry about physical host, physical network or physical data center, right? Blue icon represent the customer and gray represent Microsoft responsibility. So you can check this: testing and development, website hosting, storage, backup, recovery, high performance computing, big data analysis, extended data centers. For everything, like when it comes to on-premises, all this responsibility is your, because you don't have a cloud provider. They will not, you have to keep your manpower, your infrastructure, your electricity, your costing, your capital investment, operation investment, salary to the employees, whatever, everything is yours when it comes to on-premises. This, all of you can see this, everything is a responsibility of a customer, means we as an organization. For example, My company name is, let's say, my company name is Alpha Data Solution, just a hypothetical name. And I have on premises maybe 200 PCs, and then I have 12 servers. I have lease line, which is a bandwidth internet, your connectivity, private connectivity lease line. Then I do have user companies assigned laptops, which has been given to users, whatever. So this is all my responsibility to maintain this all infrastructure here. So for software licenses, updates, everything, all IT resources on-prem. This is need to be maintained and managed by us. Us means company itself, which is Alpha. Because you are not on cloud, you are having on-premises network. This is in case of on-prem. On-prem is a short form of on-premises, okay? On-prem, we call it resources, not network, okay? So on-prem resources. So everything, information and data also I have to maintain, devices also I have to maintain, accounts identity I have to maintain, directory infrastructure I have to maintain, applications, network controls, operating systems, physical hosting, physical network, physical data center. If I have everything and comes under me, and which is costing me. But when we move to the any model of cloud, which is SaaS, PaaS, platform as services, or IaaS, which is infrastructure as services. So then in that you pay as per the usage only. So when I take only a virtual machine from Microsoft and I'll do everything, softwares and everything is on my own, then I'm using my which service, I'm taking only infrastructure. So that means I'm using infrastructure as services and I'm paying for that. Got it? This slide is clear to everyone. So then we can move to next. Now let me share the Azure portal screen. Okay. Type 1 in a chat box if you understand it. All of you. Okay, let's now just quickly for your, there are a lot of depth, a lot of discussion we have to do. But before doing anything, I'll just try to cover the basics of this. Okay, let me share my screen now. Now everyone should focus on this. Okay. I have given a basic idea. All are understanding. Are we together? Type 1 if you all are understanding. Please type 1 if you all understand. Anyone who would like to ask any question can type in a chat box so that I can handle it. Sharing my screen. This is your exam code AZ-104 certification. All of you can see the screen. Now you can say this, I'm basically a Microsoft certified trader, so you will get a lot of informations for the same. Now successfully, when we successfully completed your Azure Administrator, this role covers, experience with operating system, virtualization, cloud infrastructure, storage structure, and networking. So during the course, you have to understand you will get an understanding of on-premises virtualization technology, which includes your VM, which we are talking on, virtual machines, what is virtual network, virtual hard disk, which is VHD. We will talk on huge detail when we talk about understanding of network configuration, including TCP/IP, domain name system, virtual private network, firewall, encryption. This all we're going to implement in a Azure environment, a cloud environment, Microsoft Azure, okay, via the portal. Portal is your interface to configure your resources in a Microsoft data center. So it's a front end, you can say. And whatever you do, the configuration and things will be deployed in the Microsoft data center. Okay. So understanding of Active Directory concepts such as user groups and role-based access control, understanding of resiliency and disaster recovery, which include backup and restore operations, right? So this is just a part of, this is what we're going to cover in a curriculum. Now on your screen, you can see this. Whatever we do in a life, guys, it is for achieving certain goals. So if you, let's say, assume that you all cleared the exam and even got a lot of hands-on and a lot of experience and a lot of discussion and case studies we're going to talk on, then you all will become a cloud administrator. Then if you're a cloud administrator, what is your role? Cloud administrator normally manage the cloud services that span organization, storage, networking, and compute capabilities with a deep understanding of each service across the full IT lifecycle. As an administrator, you have to take care about your user request also. As a cloud administrator, whatever your production environment users are required, be it from a sales department, marketing department, finance, HR, I mean, everything you need to take care. So this role requires communicating and coordinating with vendors also. Like Microsoft is one of the vendors. So if any error, anything, any configuration or any requirement you need, you might have to talk to a Microsoft cloud solution partner or maybe a Microsoft directly to the Microsoft, whatever structure you have. So you might need to take a help from Microsoft to deploy certain things or to solve certain things. So cloud administrator normally use the Azure portal, and as they become more proficient, you might use a PowerShell also, which is a command line interface. So later on stage, we will see that how to use command line. So successful cloud administrator normally start this role with experience on operating systems, virtualization, cloud infrastructure, storage structure, and networking. So throughout the curriculum, we're going to talk on everything, and we will cover everything in a practical approach also and a theoretical way also. And we will use a lot of example to understand each and everything. We move to the next slide. This is a normal track in front of you guys. You can start with AZ-900, which is a fundamental, but I don't suggest if you have enrolled for AZ-104, then this will be covered under this, okay? But after passing this, I'll suggest go with the solution expert, which is AZ-305. This based on this, you'll become a Azure Cloud Architect, okay? So Microsoft certified Azure Administrator Associate, which is AZ-104, and then Azure Solution Architect is AZ-305. Okay. See, Amazon have different certification, Google have a different certification for cloud, and Azure have a different certification. Currently, you guys are talking about AZ-104. So once you clear this exam, you will be Microsoft certified Azure Administrator at associate level. Now, if you see the AZ-104 certification areas, like 15 to 20%, they will be asking you questions from identity and governance. Identities is your anything which can be authenticated, which is a username and your username application, which can be authenticated. So that is known as identities. So that management of that is 15 to 20%. Implemented managing storage in Azure. Have you store your data? If you will configure it based on your requirement. That is 15 to 20%. Deploy, manage Azure computer, which is a vintage. You can see this, which is we are talking currently. Compute resources, your virtual machines or your app services, all are part of a compute resources only. Configure and manage virtual networking, which is a part of like how you wanted to configure your network in cloud and on premises, which is 25 to 30%. Monitor and backup, which has Microsoft added this, and this is very important, how you can manage and monitor your Azure environment. Nothing should happen to that, and nothing should affect your productivity of your users and business continuity, which is very important. So this is a percentage which indicate the relative weightage in your exam. Okay. So this is the lessons which we gonna cover during the session. Once you enrolled, and this is the agenda, guys. Total 11 module will be covered as a part of AZ-104. Okay. Today, what we are talking is all about administrating Azure virtual machine. This one. This is basic to and easy to understand. That's why we start with. I always start my AZ-104 with VM. Okay. Because before jumping to user and identity and management, let us understand the basic infrastructure first. Then we will start with this all. Okay. So this are all modules which is a part of this curriculum. So we will share hands-on labs will be a part of this. You will get the lab access and a lot of documentation and Microsoft Learning community help you guys can take. Okay. This was a basic, guys, for AZ-104. Got everything? Please type 1 if you understand the session. I'll be on mute, then I'll share my screen. We'll start with some practical part. We will spun up the VM machine, Windows 2019 VM, we will spun up and you'll see that how it is easy. And if you think on premises, like bring your machine and install operating system and configure, it covers cost and energy. Here it will be very easy. Once it is as a virtual machine, we are configuring the same in a Microsoft Azure environment. I'll be on mute for 1 minute. You guys can meanwhile give a feedback or any question and answer questions. Let me ask me in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask me. I'll be happy to answer the questions. Yeah, your target should be become a Azure Cloud Solution Architect. Remember that AZ-104, AZ-104 and AZ-305. I'm in the industry from last 22 years, guys. So any questions, anything which you wanted to ask me, please ask. Now I'm keeping myself on mute and then we'll share the screen.
Hello, sir. Good evening. I just had a small question. Like, on the premises, we all the users will be authenticated using Active Directory, right? For this cloud, do we have an directory in the cloud? Should
Yes.
the users get authenticated from the cloud AD, or
Yeah,
how
I'll
the
tell you.
users will be
There
getting?
is, I'll tell you, there is a on-premises Active Directory. Okay. You have an on-premises Active Directory. Active Directory is a domain-based service which is primarily used for authentication and identity management, right? So
Yes.
on-premises, if you have Active Directory, and let's say your organization wanted to shift certain servers or certain applications to cloud, which is now known as hybrid environment. Okay, cloud can be of 3 types: public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud.
And hybrid, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So in a hybrid, your organization have a cloud estate also, and your organization have a on-premises estate also. Now,
Okay.
there is 2 way. You can deploy Azure Active Directory, which is Azure AD. Okay, Azure Active Directory Services, which is not exactly what you get in on-prem Active Directory, but it is a Active Directory service which Microsoft use on a large scale and which you can also utilize. And you can create users, you can manage users, you can authenticate them. But let's say you don't want, you have a already user account are created on your
Yeah.
on-premises Active Directory. So you need to synchronize the same. If you
All
want,
right.
for example, let's say you have a user named Gary on premises. Yeah, the user account and username and password and everything, user account has been created on your on-premises Active Directory. Gary is working in a finance department. Now he is daily logging in, coming to office and using all that. Now he wanted to log into Microsoft 365 also for SharePoint or using some application which is hosted on a cloud. Okay.
Okay.
Now in this scenario, you don't need to create Gary's account into the Microsoft Azure. Okay. You can do synchronization between your Azure Active Directory and your on-premises Active Directory. So the single sign-on, which is known, the feature call is single sign-on, and single username will be used at both for logging into on-premises also and logging into cloud environment also. You got it? And this is possible by installing a tool called Azure AD Connect. Okay.
Okay.
Now Microsoft, yeah. So you have to install Azure AD Connect, and then based on that, your Azure Active Directory and your on-premises Active Directory domain services, which is ADDS, will be synchronized, and you don't need to create user account on a Azure AD. Okay. Your
All
on-prem
right.
user account will be utilized only. Make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Got it. Is there anyone who wanted to ask any question, guys? Otherwise, I'll move on to the next
So,
part of this.
will we having a practical on this, sir? Like how to sync this?
Yeah. We will spin up the VM now for you guys quickly
All
once
right.
you are okay. If you all are ready, type one in a chat box. Then I'll be happy to share my screen now. Just a minute. Okay, I'll be sharing it. Yes. Now, please type one once you see the screen. Now here, this is known as Azure Marketplace. Guys, we have logged on to Azure portal, portal.azure.com. Whenever you subscribe first time, Microsoft will ask you certain detail and then it will sign up for you. And you, as an individual user, you will get a USD 200 as a credit. Once you utilized it and finish it, then only Microsoft, you have to convert your free services into paid one. And then charges will be deducted based on your usage on a monthly basis. Okay. So today we will do a practical where you will spin up a VM machines which host a 2019 operating system. Okay. So in a portal, always this is your home screen. You can this headbug you can see this is a marketplace. You type if you wanted to create a virtual machine, type virtual machine here. See this image, it is there. So select that, guys. There is Microsoft has given you an option of creating machine. Remember one thing: we are creating a virtual machine. Virtual machine is it is a machine which is like your same as your physical machine. Why it is virtual? Because it is created by software instance. Okay, which is you have to understand what is virtualization is. Okay, we'll cover that also. But virtual machine is same as your physical machine and it can do every functions. And it is created on your actually it is created on a physical machine. So on a one single physical machine, you can have two virtual machines, four virtual machines, anything. It depends on a processor, memory, and all. Okay. So here we are creating virtual machine with Microsoft Data Center. We have to select which data center we're gonna use, which region, which is a Azure region. Okay. So first of all, let's create a VM. So type create, select this option, Azure Virtual Machine. Okay. Now this is your subscription. I'll be using my subscription. I have given a name of this CloudShare. Now a resource group can be of, you can say this is a resource group. For creating any Azure resources, you need a resource group. Okay. You can create a new resource group here also. Let's give a AZ-104 demo as a name. You can't use a capital. That's should be small. AZ-104 demo. Okay. One. Okay, you do not, because under the subscription we do not have that. It's a limited subscription we are using. I'm not using mine. If I used mine, could have done this. So this is a resource group we're gonna use a virtual machine. We can create a virtual machine name AZ-104 demo. This is the name of computer which we are using. Which region you want? Let's say East US. Now this is my Azure, any cloud provider, any cloud service provider like Amazon, Microsoft, or you can say Google have a regions. Region, you can see this region is Azure regions. That is which region is right for you, which is nearest ones to reduce the latency. So regions are nothing but a physical, you can say East US. So East US, Microsoft might have a 3 data center, physical data center, which has racks of servers, your, you can say hard drives, and you can say cooling power, everything. It's a physical machine. So that particular region is you can consider currently to make understanding more clear. It's a data center. One region is your location, geography, your geography. So that location might have multiple data centers. East US might have 4 data centers. Okay. So availability options, we will see that later on. Security, let's say standard image, which operating system you wanted to run on this, say this. Okay. 2019 data center. Now this is one size of VM we have to select. We will go with standard only, which is 2 virtual CPU and 8 gigs of memory. Okay. Then username AZ-104 demo 1. And this is a username. You can see AZ-104 admin. Username can be anything for logging into the virtual machine. Okay. Set up the password. You can keep a password. What if you wanted to keep? Once you have a lab access. Okay, I'm just typing. So I have typed the password. Now I need to confirm the password. Remember the username, guys. Okay. Now, which port you want to allow? Port is everybody, if you know OSI layer and protocols, then you must understand what is port. Inbound port is your virtual machines will be allowing that particular port. So I am allowing RDP, HTTP, HTTPS, and SSH. So on this machine, this port will be allowed. Okay. These are the ports which are allowed. Okay. So licensing, I'm skipping this currently. Let's say this. Now you have to select the hard disk. So let's say default hard disk, we will take 127 gigs. OS type of hard disk, you want the solid state drive or you want a standard? I think we will go with standard HDD. Okay. So in a, if you want a performance and more input output writing speed up, you can go with SSD hard disk. Okay. So we have taken this and the image is this, region is this. Okay. Okay. All checked here. Go next. The size of VM. You can see this size, which VM you want. See all sizes. You can go with a single processor also. This one, low size DS1. I selected this. Okay. So if it is not allowed, this will be not deployed, but we are just taking that single CPU because it normally should be allowed. I'll say next disk. We will take now standard HDD. Okay. And um, key management is platform managed. That means Microsoft will manage. Okay. Just remember, we are just creating a VM. So not going into further explanation. Otherwise, this all will take 2 hours. Okay. Virtual network. Any virtual machine you wanted to create, it requires virtual network. Then only it can communicate to other virtual machine in the same VNet virtual network. What is virtual network? Virtual network you can consider as your physical network only. But in a cloud, it is known as virtual network because we will create it and then machine can communicate to your on-premises machine. For example, here if you see this, guys, just check this. For example, this is your, here you can check this. This is your physical on-prem environment. Okay. This is your on-premises environment, on-prem environment. Here there is a machine. There is a machine. This is your used by your user. Okay. Let's say username, user name, Danny. Sorry. I'll just this username. You can say Lisa is a user. Okay. And she's running a you can say client operating system machine, client OS, working on SQL. She's a SQL admin. This is on premises. This is location is, let's say, Mumbai. You guys are in Mumbai, for example. Right? Mumbai is the office address of us. Okay. So now she wanted to connect to a virtual machine, which you are your SQL server, let's say. Now, but this is just example. In a production environment, don't consider this. This is a hypothetical situation which I'm just explaining you so that you can understand it. Now here I am taking the virtual machine. Okay. Okay. This is now this you can take as your SQL server. SQL server. This is a client. Okay, SQL client and SQL server. Now this is your, you can say, Azure, and the region you have selected Asia. Okay, like you can see this, where you wanted to keep this, where you wanted to create a virtual machine. Okay, this is your cloud environment. So this is your, you can say, cloud environment. Now when Lisa, if you understand this, for example, this, yes, now if Lisa wanted to connect from on-premises to the cloud machine with this VM client server, this is a connectivity symbol for your understanding. Okay, and she must authorize, then only she can log on to this SQL server. If she is an admin, she must be able to log on to SQL server. But your SQL server is not hosted on your premises, on your office, in your office. The server, for the safety reason, you have kept, you have deployed a virtual machine, you have install a SQL server on that and configure it in a Microsoft Azure cloud in a Asia region. Okay, so region you wanted to select, then you can go back and select the region also. This is here we have taken East US. Same way you can take it, select under the Asia, whatever the region available, it will show you. In India, it is Chennai, Mumbai, everything where Microsoft has actually deployed a data center. You can see that. Okay, we'll see that. So now this is, if cleared, I'll just remove it just for the example. So we are here, we are working here, we are creating a virtual machine, and then we will install a web server or something. If time permits, we will make that machine as a web server for our company by installing IaaS, Internet Information Services. Okay. Currently, we will only deploy spun up one VM in a cloud environment, Microsoft Azure. This way. This is your on-premises. This is your cloud environment. Okay. I'm removing it. Now, if you select the basic, go to the region, see this region. Under the region, you will find Asia also. Microsoft has deployed in Asia also. Okay, Central India. Got it? Now in Central India, where they will deploy with based on availability zone, based on services, they will deploy anywhere your machine. It's not that you'll get Chennai only. Okay, it depends. So you will able to select the region. Geography only you will able to select, not the data center. Data center will be selected by Microsoft only. They will decide based on a service which you require. Every services is not available with every data center. Okay. So you can go with that, but I'll keep for the lab purpose, I'll keep East US as a region. Okay. Region is a geography which you want to keep your VM. Operating system we have selected 2019 data center Gen 2. Okay. And this is a size, VM size. You can always take a VM size of this one with the 2 virtual processor and 8 gigs of memory. Okay. This is there. Password has been given. Let's next disk. I'll say you can select SSD, HDD hard disk. Normal, I have not taken SSD. I'm taking HDD. Then say networking. This is a virtual network which is created. Okay. You can see virtual network are logically isolated from each other in Azure. So in Azure, if you want 2 VMs to communicate with each other or any Azure resources to communicate with your VM,